Hello, in this video we're going to take a look at this Java problem in the Arrays 2 section called countEvens. Let's start by reading the problem and looking at the examples. So we're going to return the number of even ints in the given array. Note the mod operator computes the remainder. So for example, 5 mod 2 is 1. So just before I read any more, let's just talk about an important concept, and that is we can check if a number is even or odd by taking mod 2 and checking the remainder. This is because any even number mod 2 is going to result in 0, and any odd number mod 2 is going to result in 1. Really getting comfortable with the mod operator is quite useful in a number of situations. So now let's look at the example. So in this example, I've passed into countEvens this array, and the array is a length 5 with indexes 0 through 4. So if I was to act this out, what I would essentially do is I'm going to say, are you even or odd? You're even, so count is 1. Next element, odd. Next element, even, count is 2. Next element, odd. Next element, even, count is 3. And then I'm done and I return the count. So what you notice there is that in this example, I highlighted each element and I looked at it in sequence. This suggests that a loop is going to be needed to look at each element inside the array. So in our header, we can see here that we return an integer, and the name of our array of ints that's passed in is nums. So to start with, I'm going to make a variable called count, and this is going to keeps track of the number of even elements. And then I'm just going to go to the bottom and I'm just going to say return count. So of course this is going to be wrong because it's just going to return 0 in every run. So because I know that I have to look at each element in sequence, I'm going to write a loop that's going to go through every index in the array. So for int I equals 0, I is less than nums.length, I is equal to I plus 1. This is kind of your standard loop for going through both arrays and strings. This is going to go through each index in the array nums, and then I can pull out the value at each index and do some processing. To do that processing, I'm going to use an if statement. So I'm going to go inside my for loop, and I'm going to say if nums at I mod 2 is equivalent to 0. What this is essentially saying is if the element at index I is even. And in that situation, we're going to say count is equal to count plus 1. Now let me show you a really common mistake that students make when doing this problem, is they would simply then return count. And I hope you can see that problem, because what that does is, if again we come up to this example here, I'm going to say, are you even? Yes. And then what it does is just immediately returns the count after you've added 1. So in this case, even though this example should return a count of 3, by putting the return count here, it's going to return 1. And you can see that right there. So we really have to watch when developing an algorithm. We have to ask ourselves, do we want to return our value once we've processed everything, or can we return a value at some point during the processing? And this kind of question is a really important one to ask yourself. So in this case, we need to look at every element before we can count the number of even elements. So we're going to remove that, and there's my code worked. I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.